Good evening. On behalf of the Ministry of Trade, Republic of Turkey, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar. First of all, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to Ms. Jessica, Partnership Manager at Cdiscount, for joining us today. We are delighted to have the opportunity to benefit from her first-hand insights and experience. Today's webinar forms a part of our preparations for the second Istanbul Global E-Export Summit, IGEXX 2026, which will be held in Istanbul from 3 to 5 September 2026 under the auspices of our ministry. IGEXX 2026 will bring together leading global and regional marketplaces, retailers, logistics and payment service providers, technology companies, industry experts, and Turkish exporters. Through its conference program and B2B meetings, the summit aims to foster new partnerships and provide Turkish companies with direct access to key actors in the global e-commerce ecosystem. Today's webinar, titled Your Gateway to France and Europe, Selling Through Cdiscount Marketplace, offers Turkish companies an opportunity to learn more about selling through Cdiscount, accessing the French and wider European markets, and preparing for potential B2B meetings at the future cooperation at IGEXX 2026. Before handing over the floor, I would like to briefly explain the format of today's webinar. Following Ms. Jessica's presentation, we will hold a Q&A session, and participants may submit their questions through chat, and we will address as many of them possible during the session. I hope today's webinar will be informative and productive, and that it will serve as a beginning of new and lasting cooperation opportunities between Cdiscount and Turkish companies. Ms. Jessica, thank you once again for joining us. It's my pleasure to give the floor to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to share my screen. And everyone should be able to now see my presentation.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so yes, I'm very excited to be able to have this opportunity to introduce Cdiscount Marketplace to you all this evening, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. So I'm Jessica. I'm part of the partnerships team at Cdiscount, and I am the link between our partners and our marketplace. So identify the best players in the market to recruit their top sellers, to create synergies between both our marketplace, the partners and the sellers. So what are we going to talk about this evening? So I'm going to introduce a bit the French market to you, then develop a bit more on who is Cdiscount, what marketplace it is, where you fit as a Turkish vendor in our marketplace, what will make you successful on Cdiscount Marketplace, and then opening up from Cdiscount to the rest of Europe. So let's start with a few numbers. So about France. So I don't know if you knew, but France is the largest e-commerce market in the European Union. So since 2025, with 196 billion euros market online sales. So it's quite an impressive and important market to consider. So if you already sell in Europe and you're not in France, it should be your next country. And if you don't sell at all in Europe, I think it's a great one to start with. So there are 41.2 million online consumers, and 70% of the population buys online. And you can see here the average amount spent per year that is in constant increase. And before I move on, I just want to show you on this slide, you can see a lot of different brands and a lot of different logos. We are going to talk first about Cdiscount. Cdiscount is the B2C company, it's the storefront, it's the brand that the customer knows. But it's not the sole company. We have sister companies, subsidiaries, if you will, that are here on the right side of the screen. Octopia, it's the tech solution, it's the B2B branch. So basically, we're selling the B2B branch of Cdiscount, everything that's made Cdiscount a successful marketplace. C-Logistics, it's our warehouses and our logistical arm. Cdiscount Advertising, it's our retail media solution. And all this is an ecosystem of services for marketplaces and vendors. And all this is based on our technology and our experts at Pixis. So you might see these different logos. We're a same company with the B2C side and then the B2B. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so the marketplace. A bit of numbers about the marketplace. So Cdiscount marketplace, it's 2.7 billion euros of GMV, 16 million unique visitors per month. It's one household out of 3 that visits our website every month. It's 10 million vendors, and that's the amount of vendors that we want to maintain, and 200 million products on our website. So we have quite a wide range of products that we have, and we want to continue to develop the products that we offer. And we have 7 million active customers. We strongly believe in the marketplace model. We know that customers and French customers enjoy buying on marketplaces because there's everything there, from the batteries to your remote control to the kibble for your pet, or your next television. So it's the perfect place to buy everything. A bit more about Cdiscount, the brand. So the brand has been around since 1998. We're pioneers of e-commerce in France. It started off as an e-commerce website. It became a marketplace in 2010. And then in 2021, that's when we created all the other subsidiaries to sell our success as a B2B. We have 4 pillars for Cdiscount, or 4 values, if you will. So we're French. We're quite proud to be French and to sell in France. We're based in the southwest of France. So if you've ever visited, we're in Bordeaux, with the wine country. And so we think we're quite close to the French customer. So we know what they want. We know what they're looking for. We also think we're supportive. That's our role, to help them have the best purchasing power that they can. So offering a wide variety of products and having the best prices in the market. We're also positive. We want to be optimistic and caring, both with our customers, but also with our vendors. And finally, we're committed. We work towards providing a more responsible form of e-commerce. Responsible e-commerce can be on the logistical aspects, where we're trying to reduce the size of the packages and the emptiness in the packages, but also offering customers products that are repairable, that are made locally. Obviously, we're also targeting Turkish vendors, or products that are refurbished. That's also important for customers, and we've increased the sales on responsible products from 12% in 2023 to 30% today. So where do Turkish sellers fit in all this? So we have over 23 categories on our website. Some of them are high tech, some of them are more house, family, and leisure. And we've actually picked the top 4 on the next slide. I'll show you where we think there's a stronger fit for Turkish manufacturers and brands. So furniture and bedding, we're really strong in France on furniture and bedding. Home and decoration, we think there's a strong fit as well for appliances and childcare. So now I'm going to develop a little bit more into the steps that you need to take to be a successful vendor on our marketplace. So after you've registered, you're going to want to focus on your catalog, on your product reviews, on your logistics, and then on your visibility. So first, your catalog. Once you're going to publish your assortment, you're going to have some products that are going to match with existing offers, and others you're going to have to create. And for those ones, it's going to be important to be thorough and to really follow. We have guidelines, we have tutorials, and you're going to have to submit the information in French. So to translate that information, the product details in French, to have SEO-friendly titles, because an SEO-friendly title today is a GEO-friendly title tomorrow. You're going to want to use the official brand names or create them if it's your own brand. Have pictures in high quality with various angles, the products in use, certain details, and then fill out as many product attributes as possible. And that is super important. It's quite a lot of labor, but it's very important for the ranking and the search when customers actually are looking for the product, and to help just for them to imagine a bit more the product in their own homes and the sizes and things like that. And finally, we have a tool called Boost It. It's a free tool, and it helps enrich your product page thanks to the photos that you've already uploaded and the information that you've added in terms of attributes and description. And it creates a marketing description that we've A/B tested, and we know that customers appreciate and buy more, convert more the product when there is that enriched product page. And your aim with all this is to have a quality score of A or B. So the quality score, it's a quality scoring of your product page. It ranges from A to E. A or B it's generally a good quality. A is fantastic. And then C, D, or E, it means that there's things that you can improve and that you should improve. Otherwise, your product is not going to be seen. Then moving on to reviews. Reviews are super important to gain more visibility on your product, to gain more traction, and to have more people purchasing your product. We've noticed a higher conversion of 66% on product pages with over 10 reviews. So our golden rule is to interact with the customers and with your existing customers, let's say, and your future customers. So there are customer reviews. There are also customer questions on a product page. They can ask more details, maybe something that's not explained well or they didn't understand and they just want more information. If you can answer to those questions, it's absolutely fantastic. You may be able to close the deal. If there are negative feedback is better than no feedback. If you reply to some negative feedback, at least the other customers will maybe see that you're actually reactive and a problem solver, and you might be saving also your product that way. So really, you need to polish your product reviews. I showed previously Cdiscount advertising, and through the Cdiscount advertising, there's this service called sponsored reviews, where you can sponsor some reviews on products that you need to gain more reviews on. So through this sponsoring. 3, your logistics. Obviously, the faster you prepare your parcel, the faster you can ship it, and the faster it will reach the customer. So the customer will be more satisfied. So we have our own fulfillment services called Octopia Fulfillment, where we can do everything for you in terms of storing your products inside of Europe, doing the picking, the packaging, the managing returns, the tracking, everything. We can deliver to over 20 countries. We have warehouses in France, Spain, and the UK, and we ship over 8 million parcels per year. So we have a strong expertise in logistics also from Europe. And so, as I said, 20 different countries. Cdiscount is French, but we can ship to any other country. So if you're selling on other marketplaces in Europe and you're looking for a one-stop fulfillment center that can cater for everyone, we can do that. Currently, we have a third of our vendors use our fulfillment services, and we know that those vendors have 30% extra business compared to a marketplace only offer, and they also have 15 extra points of net promoter score. So it's a good service to have. And for visibility, so this is your final step on the marketplace. So when your product has been active for a few months maybe, and you've had some sales and you want to boost that product, you're going to be looking into visibility. So 2/3 of our vendors will use our in-house agency. So Cdiscount Advertising is called Cdiscount Advertising Retail Service, CARS. And that they have several services within that. I mentioned the sponsored reviews, but you also have the promo boost. That's a coupon that you can have on your product page that is not scrolled by reprices, so your competitors can't necessarily see it, and that has a great return on sales. Then you have sponsored brands. That's it. Maybe if you have a newer brand or an existing brand, but you want to maybe promote it more, you can have a carousel or a video, and then have all your range within the research. So it's quite good tools to have as well. But obviously, this is maybe the step 2 once everything else has been done, because you do need to have a fantastic product page first before you can go on to advertising. And so now I'm going to take a little bit more time to talk about the rest of Europe. So I talked a lot about Cdiscount. So Cdiscount is the first marketplace you need to be on. It's your entryway, your gateway to the rest of your European expansion, hopefully. So once you've joined Cdiscount, you've made the effort to create your product pages and to start selling. What we're going to do is we're going to match your catalog with 50 plus marketplaces in Europe. So we have a network of 55 marketplaces all across Europe who have asked for our services, and we're going to match your assortment and see where you have the best fits according to what they're looking for in terms of brands and products. And we're going to open a tab in your back office where you can have an access to all these other marketplaces to sell across Europe. And then after that, it's easy. You've done the hard work. Then once you've selected the marketplaces you want to be on, we will support you with the KYC process. You've already submitted your documents to be accepted on Cdiscount. We will use those documents and help you pass the KYCs on these other marketplaces. And then your catalog, because you've already created the products on Cdiscount in French, we will handle to the republication. So any technological hurdles are gone. We will republish your catalog on these other marketplaces, do the translations for you, and do the conversions wherever it's necessary, depending on the countries. And finally, you will have we have a dedicated sales development team, but you will have a dedicated account manager to help you develop your sales across the rest of Europe. And there's an uplift. Our vendors that use these services have an uplift of 30% compared to what they sell already on Cdiscount marketplace. And the last thing I wanted to say about this, so I introduced Cdiscount as a 2.7 billion euro market. This is a 10 billion market. So it's times 3 what Cdiscount's capable of doing. And in terms of cumulated views in our network, it's 450 million views, cumulated views. So I mentioned 16 million on Cdiscount, 450 million here. So what do you need to do now? Well, I've got a little QR code here on the screen, so you can scan that and sign up. Registration is self-serve. You can start creating your account without having an account manager. And I will be joining you at the IGEXX in September with my colleagues Leia and Dorothy, and we will help you with whatever other questions you may have. And and using this QR code today, we will offer you the first 3 months subscription for free. So instead of $39.99 without tax, it will be free for the first 3 months. So we can move on to any questions. It's the same QR code here if you didn't have a chance to grab it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. I think we don't have a question on the chat yet, but we have pre-submitted questions, so I would like to ask them if that's okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, the first one is e-İhracat, I think I'm pronouncing it right, is a Turkish manufacturer of PVC edge bending, furniture legs, and furniture accessories. What are Cdiscount seller onboarding requirements, commission rates, logistics, and fulfillment options in France, product compliance and EPR obligations, advertising tools, and opportunities for Turkish manufacturers? So I think it would be a recap for the presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So so we did tackle a few of the subjects talking about first starting with furniture. So it definitely is a category that we're looking for, and I think there's a good opportunity for Turkish vendors to join us. Then you asked about fulfillment services. So we do provide fulfillment services. Advertising, I'd also tackled that. That's something that's to do, as I said, in a second step, but we can also introduce you to that team. Absolutely fine. And then you asked about ERP and compliance. I'm not as versed into that, but we do have a lot of tutorials online that I can show you, and we will prepare more material as well for the summit, so you can come and meet us at our booth, and we'll be happy to accompany you on those topics.
Thank you. And the second one is, can we open a shop using French VAT number? Can we sell products via the FBA method. Is it possible to send products individually from Turkey?
Yeah. So the first question was about the VAT. So using a French VAT, of course, in France, absolutely fine. That's easy. Using fulfillment services, and if you don't have, so just going back to VAT, if you don't have any VAT numbers or registrations, we work. So that's my role as a partnership manager. I work with companies that can help you with that. So I have a lot of companies that can help create these complex topics about compliances and VAT numbers, and they can help you create those numbers. For FBA, so the fulfillment by Amazon, of course, you can sell anti-discount using fulfillment by Amazon, but why wouldn't you want to use a fantastic fulfillment services? Come on. But yeah, absolutely fine. You can use whatever fulfillment service that you want. We absolutely fine. And linking that to selling individual parcels from Turkey, the French customers, like a lot of European customers, they want the delivery as fast as possible. If your delivery time is too long, your product is not going to be as visible. So your product is not going to sell as much. So I suppose it depends maybe on the type of product that you're shipping and how fast you can ship it. It would be possible to ship it from Turkey, like individually, but it might be easier for you to use a European fulfillment service in Europe. May it be ours or another one.
Thank you. And the last pre-submitted question is, our account has been opened for the shop opening procedures for our French-based branch. No reason for the issue was given. We would like to reapply using the reference number, if that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. So without knowing the context and without knowing which shop it is, it's difficult for me to answer. But I think that's something that we should look into, and I can definitely see maybe if there's a reason that I can know about that you don't, if it's a context thing or if something was bad happened. So yeah, let's talk about that. If you're at the IGEXX, I'm happy to discuss that with you.
Thank you. Now I'm looking at the chat and we have a couple more questions. So the first one is, so my business in Turkey, so I can open shop with this company. So is it possible to open a shop with a Turkish company? Basically, that's the question.
Yeah, with a Turkish entity and not have a French entity, that's fine. That's the why also we're coming to Turkey. This is our first time coming to an event in Turkey. We've opened our marketplace to Turkish vendors. So with a Turkish, either the representing person with a Turkish nationality or the company being registered in Turkey. So that's absolutely fine.
Great. Well, actually, the next question is quite similar. What are the requirements for become a seller? For example, do we need an entity in France? And you already answered that, but I would like to add something on that. Do sellers have to have a French bank account or like a European bank account, or is a Turkish bank account is sufficient?
That's a good question, and I actually will not have the answer to that. So you don't need to have a French entity. You might need a European bank account. I'm not sure about that though. It would be that information would be public and in our help center, but it's I'll have that answer for you in September for sure.
Great, thank you. So you mentioned that, a French entity is okay, a Turkish company is okay. So any other European entity is also okay, I'm guessing, like Germany or Netherlands?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
And most, actually, I'm not going to say all of them, but most nationalities would be fine. It's the same on our help center. We would have the list of countries that are accepted.
Great. And there is a specific question. I am selling play tents and canopies for kids' rooms. Which category is related with those items?
So that would be So that could either be sports for outdoors, because we have a children's section in outdoors, or it would be toys and games, I'm guessing. So one or the other. Um, and you said, I'm not quite sure what canopies you mean, because maybe that could actually be in the bedroom section as well, if it's
Mhm.
I
So
kind of, I'm
basically,
just
it
imagining something
depends.
that's
Yeah.
attached to it. It could depend on I'd need to see the product exactly and understand what the product is. But toys and games is definitely a top category as well for the end of year.
So maybe it's a good idea to bring a catalog and then show you at IGEXX what kind of canopies
Absolutely.
you guys are selling,
Yeah,
and that would be very
exactly.
helpful. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
The other question is, we are selling home kitchen products. We're already selling on Amazon. To create the account on Cdiscount, what are the documents we need to have for as company?
So you're going to need your bank information, but I'm not quite sure which bank. You're going to need an ID. The ID of the company representative. You're going to need the official registration document, and there's the effective beneficiaries. I think that's the name in English, and so like information like that. So basically the first step, so you'll see if you've scanned the QR code, is just an email address, a phone number, and your name, and then you receive the form with everything else. So there's, I think, 4 pages to fill out with company information, your registration numbers, banking details, and I think the effective beneficiaries.
So we're gonna go back to the entity for a little while as well. So the VAT, so the French VAT number is okay, whether the physical stock is in another country, whether it's Europe or Turkey then.
So that's getting a little bit too technical for my knowledge.
Okay.
I don't want to be answering something that I'm not sure of.
Yeah, let's not give away everything on the webinar.
Yeah.
Yeah, come to
But
IGEXX and then you will have the
yeah,
questions
come
in
to
person,
IGEXX.
right?
We'll
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about that. We'll have the answers for you there. But yeah, because I don't handle registrations directly. I work with partners. Unfortunately, that's sort of experience that I don't have. So I'm sorry I'm not able to answer all those questions this evening.
Thank you. So I think the commission rates are like the average commission rates are also the topic for IGEXX B2B meetings, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think so. I think average commissions is 15%. They're quite normal, I think, comparable to other marketplaces in Europe. They're also available on our terms and conditions on Cdiscount Marketplace. You can find them there. There's the commission grids. So yeah.
Okay, great. So there is question from a cosmetics company. Since Turkey is not a member of European Union, we are subject to customs procedures in France. Does this have any? Is there any solution for handling the customs process? There is no issue with wholesales, but for online sales, the customs duties and costs of a single product can sometimes exceed the product's actual price. Especially for cosmetics, requirements such as registration with the Ministry of Health create a major obstacle for us.
Okay.
It's a tricky question,
Um,
yeah.
I think that's a tricky question. I think my understanding, but again, so anything that's to do with, I suppose, taxes and importing goods, I'm not super versed with. My understanding is using, I think, fulfillment services makes it easier for a vendor than indeed shipping it one by one from Turkey directly. But so we have also a third of our vendors come from outside of Europe, and they are able to sell on Cdiscount. So out of the 10,000 vendors, we have, so 1/3 is French, 1/3 is European, and 1/3 is outside of Europe. So they're able to sell, and I think it should be definitely possible.
Okay, and the last question is, some marketplaces does not show the items to French customers if the price is more than 150 euro due to the French custom regulation. Is there such a rule for Cdiscount?
Um, I'm not aware of that kind of rule because we sell all types of products ranging from, smaller items to very large items. So that's not something I'm aware of, and I don't think that is a rule on Cdiscount Marketplace.
Okay, great. And that was the last question. And thank you so much for doing the presentation and answering all the tricky questions and leaving some mystery for the IGEXX. So we're very excited to see you there in September, and every participant that have asked the questions and listened to Miss Jessica. And I would like to thank everyone for giving the time today. And I would like to thank our technical team as well. So I will be saying just good night and good evening, and see you at IGEXX in September 3 to 5. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Bye bye.